Hello and welcome back to another edition of Campus Dad. That's me. All right, so I'm the father of, the bride, but in this case, I'm the father of a daughter who was in college. So I sort of went through the pains and the joys of having a girl in college. To see her grow, to see her evolve into some things you didn't want her to become, it went against the grain of a father trying to inculcate a certain ethic in the daughter, but she grew wings, and that created a little conflict. And that's not abnormal. But at the same time, a dad like me, or a dad, went with the flow, gave in a little bit, took a little bit. So this yin-yang between a father and a mother and a campus gal is what this show is about. Please welcome to my show today, Ashwini Nachappa. In the day, she was called the Flojo of India. Flojo was the American athlete who gave glamour to athletics. And Ashwini did that for Indian athletics. Arjuna Award winner and a whole lot of other things. She continued in the field of sport. But when did she start running? From who did she start running? Or was it someone she was running away from, running to? Why? What happened between her ambition, her parents, those relationships? So, spotlight to Ashwini right now. Ashwini, welcome to my show. And
thank you, Anil. It's such a pleasure to be here on Campus Gal.
So there's a campus gal in every woman, and there's a woman in every campus gal. But today we're going to delve into the campus gal in you. Now, very quickly, go back to when you started running.
Oh my God. It's
and why
many
running?
decades back. I think why I started running, I'm not too sure. But probably my name, Ashwini, means a horse. It also means a star.
Oh, really?
And the horse was meant to run, probably. In hindsight, I can only say that.
Yeah, so but at that time, did you know that?
I didn't know that at all.
No, so how did you just say, okay?
So I came across somebody who said, Ashwini means a horse. And I think that stuck.
That far back?
That far back.
Okay.
So my dad used to work for Birlas in Calcutta. I was born in Coorg, lived in Calcutta because dad was working there. But in the 70s, the factory situation used to go on lockouts for months together. Uh-huh. So my mom, my sister and myself moved down to Bangalore with our cousins to pursue an education, basically. Probably I was 8 years old.
So Calcutta didn't have education that was worthy of you?
My sister was in a convent. I was in the colony school.
In Kolkata?
In Kolkata, okay. In Hooghly district. And because of lockouts, there was no transportation to go to school. It would be banned for 3-4 months together.
So those days, life was hard in Kolkata?
Very, very hard.
Politically charged? Is that
Absolutely.
The reason?
It has to be. And the factory also, because the union culture was so strong there.
Union upheavals, yeah.
Yes. And that's the reason we moved down. My dad continued to be there to pursue his, because he was the only earning member in the family. And
so it wasn't quite the safe place for a family. It was a non-family posting. Like in the army, they have those things.
Well, in the colony, it was very, very safe.
But there's no life beyond that.
There was no life beyond that.
And so your parents made that decision for what joy?
Because it was closer to Coorg, Bangalore, and most of mother's nieces and nephews were already studying and working here in Bangalore. So it was just the safest thing to do is to move back down south.
This campus dad, her dad, chose to live a life of, I wouldn't say solitude, but separation from his 2 loving daughters and wife for the benefit of the family. Well, a lot of dads do that. They go unsung even in spite of that. But I'm just pointing out that this dad made that sacrifice.
For the future of their 2 kids. Absolutely. Right. That's a sacrifice that he made and a conscious choice between my parents so that the children have their best of education.
So when you arrived in Bangalore, did you miss your dad?
Of course, we missed our dad.
So how did you deal with that?
Life was tough. So we moved to Bangalore in, I think, December 1975. Mm-hmm. And moved in with our cousins, basically, because then my mother had to look around for a home, first school for the 2 kids.
So you didn't make any plans. You just moved in, I guess, into some family
because
members.
The academic year then in Calcutta was December.
So some family members home, or you just...
No, cousins' homes.
Cousins' homes. That's what I mean. So you had some support here.
Yeah.
And you started looking for your schools. You found your school. Which school did you go to?
Went to Sacred Hearts, the Good Shepherd Convent. So my sister got her seat first, and I didn't get... it came after because...
And you're 2 years difference? So 3?
Almost 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yeah. And then after a month or so, I got my... there was a vacancy created, and then I got in... So I was in grade 2. Okay. And the funniest part was I didn't know English. It was only Bengali that I spoke.
How's your Bengali now?
Oh, terrible now. I don't do It's been many decades. But that's how... And then, as young kids, you pick up the language. Uh-huh. But it was a struggle. I remember my mom taking us every day to search for school from Baldwin's. You go walking. There was no money then. So you walk to Baldwin's. She's begging for a seat. Then she take both of us, my sister and myself, holding each other and walking from Bishop Cotton's to Baldwin's to every school. And Sacred Hearts was one that we found a seat for my sister. Because she went into a convent, it was easier for her to get
from convent to convent. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then after 15 days or a month, I got it.
So you went to school over there and you found yourself a place, you started to settle. But when did your parent, in this case, because your dad was away, discover you were an athlete to be?
I think it's all by chance.
Which is what I'm getting to. What happened that the switch flipped?
My mother was quite a strong person, and she was quite strict. She wouldn't let us play, in the streets. We'd lived near the Kantirva Stadium, and she would come to school to drop us. Mm-hmm. She would walk back home. She would come back with lunch. She would walk back home. She would come back to pick us up at 3:00, walk back home with us, with our bags, and then have a meal or, some snacks. And then she'd walk us to the stadium every day.
So you could play
Which was just about 500 meters or so from the place that we were staying in.
Got it. Okay, just to put things in context. I have known Ashwini. We are sort of the same age. And we're talking about a time when, parents were a little anxious about letting their kids, especially daughters, roam free. And when there are 2 good-looking daughters, then the parent, who is single parent now, I can understand what the mother was going through. She had the sole responsibility for their safety because the father was busy trying to earn a living so they can continue living in a safer place, to a place where a future could be made. And by the way, you've not changed much since I've met you first in 1991, I think. That's when we first met.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much change. And I haven't seen you much since.
I haven't.
Right?
Really.
Like 30, 40 years. A fleeting glance here and there. Yeah. And then I hear about her daughter and my daughter were sort of classmates.
And that's how we reconnected after many, many years.
Correct.
Yeah.
So life has a way of bringing you back to where you started. So you went to the stadium because there was no playground around your house. So this is where your mom said you could play.
Yes. And that's how it began.
Okay.
My sister would take her Amar Chitra Kathas and read in one corner of the stadium because she didn't want to run. And I was the free bird there, and I would love to run.
So when did you know you liked to run?
Ever since I was a little girl. I think even back in school, in the colony school, whenever we had the races, it was a co-education colony school. And I would love to beat the boys in, the 3-legged race or tying your hands at the back and running for the biscuit.
So anything that moved your legs.
It just excited me from a young age to be on field.
Okay.
And so after school, there were a couple of young kids my age. We would run, and a coach noticed us at that point, Mr. Mohinder Singh Gill, and he would bribe us with a nutrient sweet for every lap we ran.
Like, "Aao beta dodo."
Yeah, "Aao beta dodo." So I would land up collecting the most number of sweets.
Because you ran the most laps.
Yes. And that brought so much joy.
But then that's the making of a long distance runner. Not a sprinter.
When you're at the age of 8 and 9, the maximum we would run probably, I don't remember right now, would be about 4 laps, 3-4 laps.
Okay. And that was a lot for that.
That was a lot at that. So it kind of I think the coach noticed that both these kids, my mother would force my sister to get up and run.
Okay.
Though she was never a sports person, but she kind of probably thought it would be best that they spend their energy on the track and see what we can make out of it. Though she didn't know what athletics was all about. She just, being a Kodava, I think that fitness came not.
It was
said,
in the
just
blood.
be a little fit and just be on the ground. And I think the coaches noticed both of us having some kind of a talent and said, let's structure it. And, they absorbed up, and then the journey began.
Then you left.
I left.
You left that coach. How do you feel?
I left many coaches. I think, as you, along the journey, as you progress, Mohinder Singh Gill, of course, was just at that very base where he identified us. Then it was Purushottam Rai that I trained for a number of years with him. So the basic foundation was set for me to do it. Then when I went into the camps, the Indian camps, the coaches changed and you come back. So yes, it took me 2 or 3 coaches in the camp as well as in Bangalore. And then I finally got in with Sunil Abraham and then ended my career in 91.
Okay, so now you're in grade 8, grade 9. Oh, you were 8 or 9, not
I was
grade
8.
8.
Not in,
Exactly. You came to Kantirava Stadium and again you started running, but no chocolates.
No chocolates. My mother was, I think, her attendance sheet on the Kantirava Stadium is far more than mine.
Was she an athlete?
She was never an athlete, but she would bring our Pomeranian dog and sit in the same place till I retired just to watch us. Even when I was competing overseas or competing in other states, she would come with the dog and just sit there. Probably for her also that was a place she felt most comfortable and relaxed in.
And what was it like for their relationship? Your mom and dad, because that would reflect on your relationship.
It definitely. My dad would come once a year only because that's the leave that he would get. So
wow, that's rough.
That's very rough. And then, it was a struggle. So from both my parents have made enormous amount of sacrifice for both their daughters, whether it is financially, emotionally. It just takes a toll on the entire family, but it was never discussed or shown that they are.
Well, now that you're more vocal, vociferous, traveled, exposed, older.
Mature.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Mature. If you reflect going back now and to think about all of that, what other questions you might have asked as you entered high school? That's when you really understand these things.
Anil, for us, it was hand to mouth when we started, literally. Since my father was the only member, he had left home when he was probably 18, 19 to look for a job, to look for better opportunities. So there was no connect with him even back home in Coorg.
In Coorg, yeah.
Yeah. And my mother married as a young girl, went to Calcutta. So things weren't in the sense as a family. So it was just the 4 of us that tried to do everything that we could. So my mother, I still remember, my mother would, for every tournament, would mortgage her Mangal Sutra and try and pay little by little to just,
So you all bought a house?
We didn't buy a house. We were always in a rented place.
So even to meet rent, she would sell all of this stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
And luckily, because of sports, we didn't have, we got scholarship then, both my sister and myself, because we became the Bangalore school champions. We didn't have to pay fees. So that 65 or 70 rupees a month was a huge thing for us back then, for the family. So I think in a way that was my contribution.
So with your sister sitting in the stadium with comics in her hand?
For some time, till we all got into the routine of training.
So she was a little more reluctant to get on there? Did she see that as a path?
She loved reading. She wasn't an extrovert. She's quite just to herself. So I think it took a little time for her to just be happy on the field. I would put it that way. Though she had great talent.
Now, did you all compete with each other?
Of course we did. We were great rivals on the field.
So who would win more
we did different events.
Okay.
she would do the 200, 400. I started out as a sprinter started with hurdles,
Okay.
as a 13-year-old, and then 100 meters. Then I think the 86 Asian Games, I went for long jump. I got qualified in long jump. So I was literally looking at, which is, back then, I think there was not a coach who would say, this is the event
Specialize
for
in it,
you
yeah.
to specialize in. So it took a while for me to really experiment all of them. Because you were coming first or second, it didn't matter. You're always getting a medal back.
Oh.
So it just didn't matter in the sense,
It's
let's
first- she
specialize
first-
in which.
She first, you second, or someone else?
So when I moved to 200 meters, that's when we started competing, because she was
Okay.
doing the 2 and 4 and I was doing the long jump hurdles and all that. And I remember one of the state meet, I beat her very narrowly, and she didn't speak to me for a couple of days. But that's part of sport. I mean, she had to prove herself and also to the family that she could make it in the field, and she always wanted to go out. So in 86, she got absorbed into the University of Arkansas on a full free scholarship.
Wow. So that's a ticket to,
Yes.
in those days, heaven.
Because just before that, she had won the silver medal in the World Juniors in Kobe.
Okay.
In the 400 meters. And because of that, she got a full free scholarship.
Okay, before this becomes a spiraling free talk about athletics, I'm going to pull you back into when you came to grade 11 and 12. Do you remember those days?
I was hardly in college to even remember it. My grade 11 and 12 was only in Patiala.
So
I really didn't grow up as a campus girl.
No, that's where I'm getting to, right? Because your commitment to the sport, and if you're a sports person, and if you have a daughter, if you're watching that is a sports person, then there are things that you might want to rethink about your templates of life for your children. Okay, the standard, I want you to become a graduate and I want you to get into an MNC or become a doctor, engineer, lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Did that conversation ever happen at your home?
Never.
Did they care about you even going to college?
They did care about me going to college.
Did you care about going to college?
Yes, I was very, very conscious that I needed a degree in hand.
Okay.
However much I had achieved.
So how
by
was
then.
your life in college if you were attending?
So I was in Mount Carmel College.
Okay.
I joined because through sports, you get... my sister was also there, but she was there just for a year before she took off to the US.
Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah. I was there a couple of months when probably in the first year, first PUC, I was there for a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember.
First PUC, for those who are less acquainted
11,
with it,
yeah.
is 11 and 12, pre-university course. So it's like junior college in Mumbai and high school in a school.
In a school, yeah.
So
Okay.
84, we were in grade 11, 12, but you were already in college by then.
Yes.
I remember you're a couple of years older than me.
Yeah. So I came back to just write my final exam. Grade in the 12th, that is the second PUC. Again, I was never there when the college reopened. I had to buy my books and then come back. It was so funny that I'd walk into class whenever I was there. And I remember Mrs. Revati, who was my political science teacher, was reading out attendance. She didn't find my name on the attendance book. She says, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Ashwini." And she says, "Your name is not here on the list."
Did you pay your fees? Or was it scholarship
It was
again?
scholarship again.
That's why.
So I said, "I don't know. You have to ask the college and Mrs. Puama," because Mrs. Puama was the be-all and end of sports in Mount Carmel College.
Okay.
I said, "You have to ask her. I'm definitely in the college, but I don't know about the attendance."
So that worked out fine because you didn't have to have attendance.
Absolutely. We were very lucky. And I think when you did well in sports then, whether in school or whether in college, we got that much of
So
attendance.
there was that kind of respect for...
There was respect. There was encouragement. And it all depends on who heads institutions. If they love the sport.
You were running around the time of the other legendary name in athletics, P.T. Usha.
Yeah, she was a little senior to me. She was in my sister's batch, a year older than my sister's.
So was college education something that was what it's made out to be today? Or it was just one more thing that happened, and whether if it happened, great. If it doesn't happen, also okay.
No, I think,
For you?
yes, for me, it was very important. But in our circle, in our athletics circle, I
Mhm.
think most of them gave up their schooling after the 11th and 12th.
Because it took that kind of dedication.
Took that kind of time and dedication.
But did you ever not wonder, what if I got hurt? That would
I
come in the
did
way.
get hurt.
No, that would come in the way of you not having to do more. And then you have no education or no degree. Did those thoughts never come and haunt you? No?
Never happened. I think the reason was we were not even aware, and we were just running for the love of it. We didn't look at the risk factors, nothing. It was also a good way to be seen, to emerge out of where we came from. Because of all the, hype that we got, because of we won medals for the state or the country, we got small amounts of money, that it was basically running for those little things and bringing back home a medal. So never, in hindsight, I don't think it's the way to go forward, whether we should take that risk or not. If you're going for it, just go all out. And I think we are blessed, both my sister and me, because my parents never questioned that. They knew we were on the track. I was never a college girl. I never had to bunk a class and go for a movie. And we didn't have that kind of time.
So I'm going to take you to that level now. So your parents were sure you were on the track, and they were confident that you were making something of yourselves, if not academically, at least on the sports track and field lanes. But did you ever bunk the track and field lanes to sit in a movie with a boy?
No.
There was no issues at that time, where that's the time when you're in college.
I remember going out
because your parents were clearly very protective.
Yes, they were. I don't think I ever went for a movie as such.
Hell, whatever else.
Bunked a training session. I had to appear on the field because there was a goal that I had set once I reached the national level.
Okay, so we're talking now high school to your final year of degree. That's a 5-year period. So 84.
I was never in college to do a degree.
But you were enrolled, that's all.
I did my correspondence and I did it through the Karnataka University.
Okay.
So I would take my books and my notes to camps.
So you were only enrolled in a campus. You were a campus gal only for the first maybe 2 years.
11th and 12th, the pre-university.
That's it.
Yes, never went to college after that.
But you continued to do this distance learning.
Distance learning, absolutely.
So your campus was the field.
Was my field, was my home. More than the field.
The field was your home.
Yeah.
The field was your home.
The field was my home.
Right.
And that was my life. My entire life was that.
So that's the time when most boys and girls also discover themselves, their heart, their head sometimes, and every other organ in their body that comes alive. Okay? Where was your space in that period of time? Where were you?
I think it all is a part of our journey.
I'm going back to timeline. So 84, you were
when did I retire? I retired in 91 end. So maybe around 89, 90, yeah.
Would be your final year in college,
of
perhaps,
course.
if you were in college. Or you would have passed out by then.
I'd have passed by then.
Correct. So you had no distractions.
No, not when it came to my field.
Correct. No,
But of course I had
till 88.
likes and dislikes. I had,
You had crushes?
I had crushes.
Anyone you can talk about?
I think one of the crush that was Milind Soman, because we were all in the camps together. We were young at that point.
Milind Soman. Point to be noted. Okay. Did he?
Yeah, Millie is a good friend because of swimming. I think we as athletes were from Bangalore got along very well with the Bombay athletes.
Okay.
Whether it was Anita Sood, we had a clique there.
Now, come on. Was it just a crush?
Just a crush.
Both ways? No.
I don't know if you ask him that.
Maybe we will.
Yeah, so it was nice. I mean, you live like a family in camps for months together. So
you're bound to.
You're just bound to have that kind of, and it's a phase.
And was it all the girls in the camp that had the same feeling for him?
I think Because he was such a good looker. So I'm sure all the girls would be eyeing him. That's
Okay.
but there are a lot of campus. I would call the field the campus. My camp was
Sure,
a
yeah.
campus. So most of them, whether it was Shiny and Wilson, whether it's Reeth and Sunil, pairs were made then,
Exactly, yeah. Even
Exact-
your coach, right? Abraham.
Yeah, he was later on my coach.
Right.
Then he was an athlete.
And then he had a couple with another athlete. He paired up with another athlete, didn't he? No.
Oh, I'm not too sure.
I thought he married
with
another
Reeth.
athlete. Oh, with
Yeah,
Reeth. Exactly.
with Reeth, yeah,
all right.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So Vandana Rao with Joachim, and then so there were many of them like that. But I really didn't find anybody at that point in time, other than the crush,
Okay.
to like continue a relationship or something. No.
So once she was out of college, well, out of her campus on the field, she became a movie star. Right? There's a movie made now. How did your parents deal with that idea? Because you played yourself.
Till today, my parents have never questioned why I'm doing what I'm doing. My choices, they've gone by with my choice.
And if you have some things to tell a parent of today who has a campus gal in college or in that age group, what would you tell them?
Both my daughters have gone through the campus girls. And as you rightly said in the beginning, we've all come in an era and grown up in an era where respect was most important.
Mm-hmm.
Respect for our parents, respect for our teachers, respect for our coach. And I think today's day and age, you cannot, because I've gone through what you've gone through, you cannot live your dreams through them.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore it is important that the upbringing at a young age is good, but that is no guarantee that they will change, because it all depends on their friend circle, on the environment that they are in. They get carried away with, everything around them. And there's too much of information right now for every young girl. Too much of information. Back then we had no phones, we had no nothing.
Right.
It was, your mind was free. You could, actually think. Today there is no time for a young child to even think.
They tell you what to say and think.
Yes. Now you want to say something, ChatGPT, okay, let me say it in this manner. It's come to that stage. So conversations between children also have changed.
So this is a great segue to get into another role of this show. If you're, by the way, just tuning in, you're listening to, listening and watching, because this will become a radio program as well, to a show called Campus Dad. A Campus Dad is the role I'm playing here, trying to explore the possibilities of a better relationship between the parent and the child in college, and to explore those relationships that have existed in the past and will probably do in the future. Now, I'm talking to her about her time, her meaning Ashwini Nachappa, about her time during her days in college or when she was supposed to be in college. But then life happened. She had two young, gorgeous daughters who ended up in college as well. Now, here's her role as a parent, campus mom. So which college did they end up going to, and what was that journey like, having those two kids juxtaposed with your upbringing? What did you say, I would like to do it this way because I didn't have it this way? Or did you compare? Or what was that like? What were the decisions you made as a mom?
I think whatever decisions we've made, is both my husband and was to go with what our daughters wanted.
Mm-hmm.
After 11th and 12th, what they did here, my older one, Anisha, passed out of Christ College, and she was very, very keen to go to the US.
Okay.
And she wanted only the California, under the UC, umbrella. So, and it was a lot of money. We tried to make her understand, but she was so keen. And because she was also a badminton player,
okay,
she got into a couple of universities. She was already a national badminton player by then.
Mm-hmm.
She got into this, and then she took on UC Davis as her campus. I still remember going. It's a huge, huge campus.
Yeah.
Something, they have their own police force. They have everything under. It's huge. For us, it was a revelation. And then you try and tell them, see, this is how much we have to pay for it. So you bloody well do,
Do well.
what you're supposed to be here for.
Okay, so those are academic pushes. They decided what they wanted to do.
No, those academic, but also to say that don't forget your roots.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do, you have to do it not just for yourself.
But did you make this sacrifice? We assume that it was hard to collect that kind of money, or not. But did you try and speak to them about how your parents sacrificed a lot for your ambition?
That's a conversation we have even today. But it doesn't relate to today's kids at all.
They don't care.
They're okay. I mean, they know how we have come up. My mother talks to them. I talk to them. They know about it. Says, that's your journey.
So tell me, clearly it wasn't all happy. You've had...
Of course.
You've
Which
had
parent
these...
can say that it was all...
No, so this show is also from an angle of a parent. I mean, you could be as honest as you want to be, because I'm not trying to make you say things you don't want to say, because you still have relationships with your kids. But if you have to talk about your time and the conversations you've had with your college-going girl, was there a strife? What was your biggest pain point?
Because I don't think...
What was the issue?
Anisha didn't, for the kind of sacrifice or, struggle that we put her there for, I don't think she did justice to it.
Okay.
As much. So there was conflict in the sense, between not just mother and daughter, but mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
But she became a rebel in a sense, to prove her point. Touchwood, she's, but it takes a while to get back that trust.
You let go of Anisha right after 12th.
So did I with Dipali, my younger one.
Right. Now, how?
And you cannot compare because they're both two separate individuals. Correct.
So now, that was really young to separate yourselves from the daughters, because clearly... No, they haven't seen enough, but they're raring to go explore the world. Why would they choose to go out than to stay in? Did that conversation happen about, hey, why don't you finish your graduation here and then you can go for your master's kind of conversation?
Well, that was a choice that we gave Anisha also.
Okay.
We said, you go to the UK, which is a more structured...
No, also meaning did Dipali go first?
No, Anisha
went first.
Dipali was still in school. She hadn't finished. So when Anisha said, we said, be closer to home. Try, Singapore.
Uh-huh.
But she was adamant to be in the US. Some of her friends had gone there. So, it just, as I said, they get carried away. In hindsight, I wouldn't recommend any parent in India to send them for undergrad to US.
Not to send them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's too expensive for nothing.
Not just expensive, but the child at that young age is so confused because you have to do, whole gamut of subjects.
Well,
and then what you really want to, she went for psychology and turned to international relations, then to turn to design. So she was trying out everything.
Because she had a choice.
Because you had a choice.
Education abroad, at least in the US, the first 2 years, they go through what you call foundation courses, general courses, general education, which means you do all subjects. By the time you come to year 3, you then try to declare your major. There are lots of students who declare their major starting out, but there are lots who go in calling themselves undeclared major, and then they are forced to declare a major in year 3. And by then, you've experienced all these subjects. So you might go in for science and you end up learning basket weaving.
Yes. Yeah.
And you pay through your nose to learn how to weave a basket because they found that to be most interesting. But can we weave baskets in India? Of course, for a lot less. Absolutely. So that financial struggle, what was that conversation like? Because 2 girls going for an undergrad course outside of India.
My younger one didn't go to US. She was...
Why was it cheaper?
No, she just wanted to head out to become a chef. The best chef in the world. She did her Cambridge and she got in Cordon Bleu in Paris.
Okay.
And she thrived there. She also thrived because she was having seen her sister struggle with this subject, that subject.
No, so you've listen, I'm still relentless about staying in a particular space of that relationship. Okay? Because I
let them go.
No, I want to get deep down into your minds as parents. The conversation of, you should give your children wings. Fair enough. You probably did. But did you have your own views about these decisions they were making? Your pillow talk with your husband?
Most definitely.
Grumbling about, no, look at this girl.
It'll be foolish for me to say no, of course.
Right. So what was that journey like?
It was tough because it also brought in a lot of conflict, which need not be seen, but could be felt.
Within. Now, were you and your husband on the same page? Now, that's the other thing about
Most
parenting.
of the time, we were on the same page.
Okay.
But as a mother, you always say, okay, let's give her another chance. The father was a little more, saying, this is the amount we're spending. Less forgiving.
Okay.
And I was like trying to, balance between, and I must say that relationship between father and daughter was really strained because of her journey.
Now, what about
US.
between mother and father? Husband and wife?
It wasn't that strained. We would talk it out because we were most of it on the same page. And Anisha suffered with a lot of migraines she had at that point. So I would be traveling. Every time she had an issue, I'd be there in the campus.
Traveling to the US?
Yes. She wanted me there. So a lot of times I did that, twice a year sometimes. And it was
Okay. That's expensive.
That's expensive. And I was neglecting my younger one in some sense. In fact, even when she graduated at Vidya Shilp, it was my husband who went with his friend because I was in the US with Anisha at that point in time. So
are we as parents bending backwards without them realizing what it's going to take on the part of a parent?
We are. Not anymore.
Well,
but
no,
when they are in
not.
college, I think yes, because somewhere deep down we as parents feel they'll come out of it. They will realize what we are doing. And you're blessed if they do.
Because around the same time, our kids aren't that far apart in age. We were having the same discussion. I, as a father, my wife was a little more forgiving, was very clear. I said, all right, it's my responsibility to pay for your education. So in India, pick a college in India. And we put her in Mount Carmel College, my daughter, the first one to enter college, campus gal. And the next thing I know is she wants to not go there and do something else. Okay, then she went to Ashoka University.
Sonipat.
Yeah, I know. So the fees were dramatically, from here it went up to here. Okay, so all right, India. Then a year later, she said, I want to go to the US. And that's when I put my foot down. Said, all right, you can go. I went to the US as well, but I paid my way through. So if you can pay your way through, you can go. And then the little brother, 2 years later, followed with the same thing. Yeah, I want to go to the US. So the rules applied to him too. You can go to St. Joseph's College or anything here in Bangalore or anywhere in India. But if you want to go to the US, you pay your way through because I am not going to bend backwards and burn both ends of my candle to make that happen because I don't think it's an appropriate time for you to leave.
No, that I think for us, since Dipali wanted to become a chef and got in Cordon
It's a specialized thing.
She was specializing. It wasn't like, and she was clear that she didn't want to go to the US at all. She did really well. Touch wood, she did well. She then went on to do a patisserie course in London. She worked in Four Seasons in Los Angeles for 6 months.
Where is she now?
You won't believe it.
Back here?
No, she's very much in France.
Okay.
She's been there for 9 years. And then she says, really? I'm not going to be washing dishes and, going to the market and cooking. Let me do business management.
Okay.
So she
went back to campus.
She went back to campus. She took a year off after her graduation in Cordon Bleu. Did just a French university, learned French completely for that 1 year and got into the HEC, which is one of the reputed business management college. And the day she graduated, she got absorbed in Tekin, which is an ex-Tesla company, doing so from chef to cooking. She's done for house tier, shows and, breakfast, brunch, all these things. And then for the fashion week.
Cooking wasn't as glamorous as she thought.
And then she got into tech, and she was there for a year and a half because they wanted to open from the Bay Area. They wanted a French office, and she spoke very well French. So she got absorbed as the second employee there, and they shut shop about 6 months back.
Oh, the boons and banes of startups.
But the comparison between two kids. And then she says, let me do something else. And she started property management. Touch wood, she's doing well now.
She's selling real estate.
Managing property, not selling.
Oh, not. Okay, so managing rental apartments and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, in 6 months, she's made a trip now to Thailand and come back. She's leaving on 26. So,
Did you make a pact with them about repaying certain things?
No.
No?
No. I think that's a mistake we did. In hindsight, if they do well, you forgive them. If they don't, it pinches you still.
Right.
Right? But now I think we are in a phase where we've moved out of all that.
Cut your losses.
Well, I wouldn't say losses as such. It was... At that point in time, we were also, trying to set up our school. So it was enormous amount of effort and money going into setting up an institution. So
which, by the way, is quite a reputable one.
Thank you,
Amir. And they've done some wonderful work with kids. So can you talk about that school a little bit? What is that school about?
Well, it's a regular ICSE school.
And where?
In Coorg. In a small place called Kaikeri Village.
Okay, is it residential?
It's a residential school. It's on a 28 acre campus.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically set up because Coorg really didn't have a school.
Right, so this is from K to 12.
K to 12.
Okay,
yes.
So there is a little bit of campus, high school.
Of course, there is plenty. You must do this in school now.
No, I'm getting
we'll have
there.
chits coming out from this class to that class.
I'm going to come there eventually because for us, campus gals qualify as soon as they enter 11th grade.
Okay.
Whether it's in school or college.
Yes.
Because they're starting to think college at that time.
That's right.
Right? So it's quite an appropriate...
Yeah. So we started out with 25 kids. We started looking for place to set up because once you get no objection from the government. So we started out in a rented place. Took one kind of a small place like this and divided into class with 20 kids. Started somewhere in July 2004. And
now,
then
is the focus sports over there?
Not really. The focus is to integrate sports into academics.
So there was integration. Because when you say integrate sports...
I'm a product of a school games.
Correct.
Purely a product of a school games.
So you find...
Because it thrived back then.
You find talent over there.
You find talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somewhere down the line, academics overtook every aspect of that child.
So is that because the parents put pressure on this? Now that you're a school administrator.
The whole system puts pressure on it.
Correct. So now when you started out saying this has to be an integrated sports slash academics, now I'm sure you got parents, and again, this is also for the parents to understand what they're doing might actually cause harm rather than good because they're defaulting to what they think is normal. So did they come to you and said, oh, they're playing too much, I want them to study so their marks can be better?
You will get one
and
or
as
two
a
parents.
Business.
No, you will get as one or two parents who will question, why so much. For me, it's important that every child, whether they're in kindergarten or whether plays a sport or just has some form of physical activity. But
that was always in the curriculum, right?
No,
PT class.
It's there in the curriculum. PT class, right. How well it's... So when you see children... I've noticed because I'm associated with children, whether it is with the Special Olympics or with Parikrama or organizing children's event in the stadium, the basic coordination is not there. I think it's important for parents to encourage children to just play.
You never know what spark hits.
You never know.
But do they know?
We would cycle on the roads,
right.
Pay 25 paisa and cycle for an hour. Just, even though we were running, but we wanted to learn to cycle. We would climb up those gooseberry trees. As parents today, we are saying, we're so protective.
Helicopter parents.
Yes, we are extremely protective. And I think somewhere we're not allowing them to
As an administrator of a school, as someone who went through a free reign as a child to go pursue your dreams or your talents, and as a parent with 2 girls in college.
Now working.
what would you like to tell the parents of these girls who are now passing through that phase of campus? What should they consider to do, which even if it's against the grain of their natural behavior, in the interest of the relationship between their girl child and themselves?
I think it's very, very important for every child at that age, the adolescence age, where the minds are, wandering too much. The focus is not there. There's too much of information. There's too much of gadgets. I think a one-on-one talk constantly with them. I don't agree that parents should be friends with children.
Okay.
I don't agree.
Interesting.
No, they should be friends, but there's always a line that has to be drawn.
So at what stage does that line disappear and becomes friendship? At what age, at what time of their life should that be?
I think it just depends on each individual. Because some children...
No, I mean during education or post-education.
It can either be, there are some children, you can't really say one fits all. Some children may just blossom early, some may not. But I think there are many, many kids today who blossom later. It's not the 12th standard mark that defined them. I think I got to know many things being on the field, learned many, the exposure that it gave me. So my lessons of life came from that.
But didn't you insist on and play the tough love game with your kids to make sure they have similar experiences, even if it went against their own?
But that's something that we've got to take responsibility and blame ourselves for it.
Right. So there's no such thing.
Because in the interest of the child, we say, okay, let her get the best. The best.
So how do you feel about this line that there are no such thing as bad kids, only bad parents?
I wouldn't say they're bad parents, they're bad. All of us do things in the best interest of our children.
Correct.
All of us.
Bad parents, to qualify that, every parent, like she said, wants to do the best they can and they know. So being a father and a mother is biological. Being a parent is a conscious decision where even the parent has to grow into that role and make parenting a science it should be. Obviously very subjective. But assuming that would be the definition of that line, is it always the parent's fault as opposed to the child?
Kids will always say parents, my dad did this or my mom did this, but you don't expect me to do this. Okay, we walk to school. We would never allow our children to walk to school because there's a driver and a car with them. We wouldn't allow them to take a public...
Because the times were different, I guess.
Times were different. We had no option.
Not just that.
But they would not relate to it. No, I don't think so.
You think it's as safe as it was then for the kids today?
It's not the safest environment. I've traveled unreserved at the age of 14 going to Patiala for camps, 14, 15 years old.
And when you would...
And my parents just left because...
No, at that stage, let's assume you did that. Not assume, though. We know you did that. You had no untoward incident, sexual assault, molestation?
Nothing. Nothing as of... Nothing.
Zero.
I can say that absolutely zero.
Point to be noted.
So, for me, even this was not even fed into our heads.
No, so listen, we hear all kinds of controversies today with sports people and sports
even during our time.
At that time, was there anything like that happening?
There were one or two who came out of it. I wouldn't want to name some
Obviously
of them.
Not, it's just a story.
It's just a story. There were whispers and, all this. But really nobody...
You didn't feel anything?
I didn't feel anything.
Nobody?
I didn't feel anything.
Your sister or anyone you knew?
Nothing at all. And I think also it makes a difference on how you conduct yourself on field. How you conduct yourself with everyone, Do
you think this happens more in team sports? Where they do need to be selected?
It can happen in individual sport because there are individual sport athletes who've gone through
this.
So I wouldn't say it does not exist.
Because at the end of the day, a runner's ultimate thing is if you finish in a good time, then no one can deselect you.
No, it's not the question of selection body itself. Even a coach and athlete relationship.
Right.
For us, the coach is like God. He gives you a workout, you do well, you're trusting him 100%. And young kids can get carried away with it. So by the time they realize it, they won't see it as sexual harassment. It's only now that awareness, because of the
good touch, bad touch
in school that we're talking about, we are putting all this information out that we realize it. In our days, I didn't know what good touch, bad touch. We were all just in one big gang of...
We didn't know the terminology, but the actions were still there.
Actions were there.
And the instinct that you feel.
But I didn't feel that. I didn't feel anything like that. I didn't feel like that.
Because today there's a terminology for everything, but it didn't mean that it didn't exist when we were growing up.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
Friends
and I don't think we paid that much
situationship.
attention then.
Yeah.
We didn't pay that much attention. And I think at that point in time, even in the Indian circle, these were not discussed openly. Today we are much more an open society. We are talking about it. It's being reported.
Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good, but it still happens. So why is it still happening? You open a newspaper, you read nothing about development, you read about sexual harassment from page 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, because that titillates a person's mind. And
so there is so much of
negative news. And
I wish that we as media and, bring out positive stories.
Well, we're trying.
Positive stories. And I'm just saying, I think that's a responsibility for all of us.
I remember I was in college. I studied criminology, by the way. And one of our assignments for that course was to scan newspapers for a month and look at page 3. Page 3 was different then. It's not the page 3 we know now, but page 3 was all the crime stories. All the news of crime in the city. And we had to analyze profiling, who was reported, where they came from. So it's interesting to know that has now come to the front page.
Not just the front, the first 3 pages.
All 3 pages. Either it's a political crime or a social crime.
So I start reading the newspaper from the back end, always.
The sports page.
From the sports page.
Thank God it's still the sports page.
Husband always says, why are you reading from the back? But that's become such a habit. And I flip it this way and not this way.
Because it was a sports page. Right. And not much bad could have happened then. Well, we can have this freewheeling conversation and keep doing this because it's easy to talk to her, always was. The decades that passed between us knowing each other well and reconnecting, I don't think much has changed, at least from me. What about you?
Touch wood.
Good. So thank you for joining us. This show is called Campus Dad, and we've been in conversation with Ashwini Nachappa. And if you're still unsure about what she's done, Google is your friend. You'll find a lot there. And if you're still looking to see it visually, I would recommend that you go watch the movie where she played herself. It is a story of an athlete and how her journey, pretty much everything she told us today, is now in movie form. It was done in 1991. And that's the year we met, actually.
Yes.
And it's available on some OTT platform. I think it's ETV Win or something like that. I just Googled it. I told you, Google's your friend. So any last signing off words from you on
Well,
parenting?
for all parents watching, I think don't get bogged down by small things. These are phases each and every parent will go through. We just have to have our head held high and have the trust. Somehow the circle will come back.
Do you set boundaries?
Not anymore.
Financial
They're all 30.
boundaries?
They're all 30.
No. For someone in campus.
Yes.
A parent who has
that
campus
financial
skills.
boundaries was always there for both the kids in campus. This is what you're allotted every month.
How did you deal with their boyfriend-girlfriend issues?
It came past.
Well, past, I know, but what was those conversations?
Those conversations weren't the easiest. Sometimes when we felt that it wasn't the right time or the right person.
Okay.
But at that point, they're so young and, they're adamant. So they have to realize it. That self-realization has to come.
So you
Ultimately,
just stayed out?
We just stayed out. You have to fend for yourself. I think we as parents take too much of responsibility. Once you give them the education, rest is their responsibility. Ultimately, the parents will be part of that, but I think
The consequences.
The consequences is there for them to deal with.
All right. So I hope you enjoyed this discussion, and we'll have many more going forward. Don't forget to tune in to our other programming that happens on campusgal.in on YouTube and campusgal.in on our website. We have an app called campusgal.in on Android and iPhone. My name is Anil Srivatsa, and you've tuned to Campus Dad on campusgal.in. If you have a story to tell about your time with your parents while in college, are they supportive? Would you like them to be in a different way so that it can open up your world for you so you can take wings? And you're having certain challenges with your girl in college that you'd want to speak to somebody about and straighten things out, even in your own head, then write to us. You could be on the hot seat right next to me. You don't always have to be a famous personality. To me, the fact that you're a campus parent, campus dad, campus mom, or a campus gal is good enough. Thanks for watching. Go take on the day.